quick note, YouTube's a little bit funny at the moment with subscriptions, so if you want to be notified of my videos, click the little bell here. Cheers. The Guardians are the massive, badass spider tanks that plague Breath of the Wild's overworld, but often overlooked are their little brothers that inhabit the game's mini-dungeons, the Shrines of Trials. In these Sheikah-built challenges we find rather cute, but still equally trigger-happy, miniaturized versions of the overworld behemoths. They behave similarly to the larger versions, spewing lasers at Link from a distance while having the traditional Zelda weakness of an exposed eye. But recently on the Legend of Zelda Facebook page, we got a screenshot of a new variant of the mini Guardians, this time brandishing some sort of lightsaber. So you know how this goes. Let's break down what we see in the screenshot. So what's obvious from this screenshot is that Link, complete with pretty standard gear such as the soldier's broadsword and the soldier's bow, is engaged in one-on-one combat with the mini Guardian, in what seems to be an arena designed for this, since it's a large empty room with a lot of floor space for movement. The background is pretty basic, with a traditional Sheikah shrine design such as these lamps and these pottery designs on the walls. But interestingly, in the background we can see a gate, similar to this one here. This gate here is lowered just by stepping on a pressure plate, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Guardian had to be defeated in order to lower it here, in traditional Zelda mini-boss fashion. And if we look just beyond the gate, we can see a thin strip of orange, which I think is actually one of the Sheikah chests we see dotted around shrines. So if this is a gate lowered by defeating the Guardian and behind it is a chest, could this be a return of the Zelda tradition of beating a mini-boss and being rewarded with an item? I'll get back to that in a second. Right now, let's have a look at the new enemy itself. So this new enemy is clearly part of the Guardian family, as we can tell by its spider-like legs and lower half being identical to those on the Shrine Guardians, and very similar to the bigger beasts on the surface. But above this is where it gets interesting. Between two glowing bands there's a midsection with what seems to be 6 mechanical arms, one of which ends in a huge laser sword. How fucking cool is that? The head is slightly different to other Guardians. Instead of being flat-topped and armoured, it's more like a dome. However, it still has the large eye, suggesting it retains its weakness, but also probably can cook you with lasers before it carves you up with its lightsaber. Yeesh. So how can we defeat this enemy? I think the fight could revolve around dismembering the Guardian, similar to the Coloctus fight from Skyward Sword, where Link could pull off arms using the whip. In fact, on the right, it looks like one of the Guardian's arms may have already been cut off by Link. The arms look like they can be folded inside the body, which makes me wonder if the Guardian originally looked like this, before the two blue and grey bands separated, revealing the multiple blade arms. And now for the most interesting part, the similarity between the laser sword arm and this. The laser arrow Link has been seen to use on a few occasions in Breath of the Wild. The shape and colour of the glowing designs, the fact that the arm looks like it could be moved here like a joint, as well as the lasers, which both have little notches and patterns along them, are really similar between the two. While I don't think they're the exact same thing due to slight differences in design and the length of the lasers, the fact that something so similar is found on one of these Guardians gives me two ideas as to how Link got hold of this arrow. The first is the simple answer that by killing a shrine mini-boss, Link will get something similar to the arrow from the chest found behind it. This would follow Zelda tradition, and since both were obviously crafted in the same way or by the same people, it's safe to assume that they would be found in similar places. The second, and in my opinion most believable, is that simply by killing something similar to this Guardian, Link can scavenge the part needed to create the arrow. We've seen that killing Guardians usually rewards Link with items such as the Ancient Screw and Ancient Spring, the uses of which are currently unknown, so it's not too far-fetched to think that something like an ancient sword could be found too, then used to craft a makeshift arrow such as this. We can see that the Sheikah technology has been quite crudely strapped to the arrow, suggesting Link made it himself. What do you guys think of this new Guardian design? Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.